Hello, welcome to episode 18 of the Oversubscribed Challenge podcast. And of course, from episode 14 thereabouts, we started focusing specifically on skincare brands. By the way, these lessons are applicable to any brand, not just skincare brands. I just pick skincare brand as an example of how to deploy the lessons we've learned from episode 1 to 13. So in this episode 18, I think I'll be answering some of the questions you might have had from episode 17, that's last week's episode. And the title of episode 18 is A Simple Funnel That Turns Attention into Sales. So to get started with this episode, let me ask just a simple question. And that's the question that you probably already had since last week's episode. And I think I even asked this question inside the episode. So the question is, if 100 people see your skincare brand today, you're not in skincare, if 100 people see your brand today, how many of them would actually buy? And I'm not talking about you just guessing or just hoping. How many will realistically convert? How many will realistically buy from your brand? If you don't know this, then that is where the problem is. So the problem is not just you not having traffic, because in reality, skincare brands especially, you're most likely getting attention. You're getting traffic. People are seeing your ads. People are clicking through your ads. People are even engaging with your content. But the problem is the sales, right? And the problem is that the sale may feel inconsistent. You're probably making some sales, probably making even many sales, but it might not be consistent if you haven't taken care of this conversion piece. And that's what I want to talk about today. Because if you feel inconsistent sales, the natural reaction that you might have is that I need more traffic. But as I discussed in last week's episode, the traffic is not the problem. The real problem is that there is no clear path from attention into sales. And that's what I really want to deal with today. I want to show you that path from attention into sales, especially as a skincare brand. Now, before you go into sales, let's start from the beginning. Attention. Right, because attention does not equal sales. Many people think, all I need is attention. If I get people to notice that I exist, then I'm going to sell. No, that's the beginning. All right, that is the beginning of you coming out of obscurity. But that does not automatically translate into sales. You must get attention. That is the beginning. If you don't start something, you cannot end it. So you must get attention. But getting attention is not necessarily hard. What is hard is getting the right attention. And it's not necessarily hard if you know what to do. What I'm saying is that getting anyhow attention is not necessarily hard. Just do something that is weird. People will give attention to you. But if you want to get attention for your brand, the right attention, that is also cool. You can work with influencers that are primarily for skincare brands. All right, you can run ads for your brand. Of course, there's people that are interested in what you have to offer that will most likely see your ad or that will most likely engage with your ad. You can post content consistently. All of these things would give you the attention. But the question is, will the attention automatically translate into sales? Not necessarily. Attention alone will not create the revenue. It must be in place. You must have attention, but not attention alone. So between attention and sales, something must have happened. Someone must have discovered that you exist in the first place. So your attention gets you that, all right? And then someone must engage with your product. Someone must engage with your landing page, with your copy, with everything. And then person become customers. There are decisions that need to happen between that stage, between getting attention and between people buying your products. What are the decisions? You must guide those decisions. You don't leave those decisions to happen randomly. You must guide those decisions. And if you don't guide those decisions, people may still buy, but it will not be as much as if you guide those decisions. And many skincare brands are doing things that makes it more difficult for people to make a choice about the product they actually want to buy on your website. For example, these are the plan their campaign. They run ads, they send people to the products page or the home page, and then they expect people to buy. They hope that it works. That is good. That is great. You should do it if that is all you know. At least something is happening. You are making some sales. But sometimes you don't make the sale. Why? Because you're asking somebody who just discovered you. You're making them to fully trust you immediately. You have discovered you. They don't fully trust you yet. They're not even sure if your products work, but you're sending them directly to your products page immediately. You've not built that trust. It's not that your name is a high trust name that everybody recognizes, even if they've not seen your website before. That is not the case with your brand, all right? And people have not yet trusted your brand. They're just seeing your content for the first time, and you expect every one of them will just buy immediately. That is not how things are done. You're asking them for something big. So if you don't have a name that is a household name that nobody needs to even think about getting to know the brand. Like, they already know the brand. If that is not your case, then you need to plan your journey. You need to plan how to guide your traffic to become customers. You need to plan it organically. You need to plan it actively. Yeah, that's what I mean. You need to plan it actively. And why do I say you need to plan it actively? Let's make a practical decision here. All right. If somebody see your ad, so what would happen? They already are looking for something like that. Most likely they probably have a brand they're actually buying their product from. All right. And maybe they're thinking of buying a product from that brand the following week. But today they see that kind of product from your ad. All right. So what are they going to do? Maybe they're going to click. They're going to land on your page. Then what happens? The question is, when they land on your page, do they instantly understand what your product is about? You must ask yourself that question. Do they instantly trust your brand immediately when they land your page? The copy on your page, the design of your page, does it immediately evoke trust in your brand? And do they feel confident enough to buy even though they are seeing you for the first time? Depending on how you structure your conversion process, they can feel instant connection with your brand and they can even buy some products immediately, or they may not feel that instant connection and they may not buy any products. All right. And because you've asked them to commit too much, they may not commit at all. All right. They may hesitate. And when they hesitate, then the sales is lost. And this is what happens with many skincare brands or many brands generally. They create hesitation without realizing it. They didn't realize that their landing page copy, their landing page design, or their campaign structure is not getting people to instantly feel like buying immediately, even though they are buying for the first time. And that's not because their product is bad. It's because their conversion setup skip the trust building process. They skip the warming process. They skip the decision guiding process. And if you do this for cold audience, you're going to lose them more than you're going to acquire them as customers. For your warm audience or for your hot audience, you might compress everything into one step. They already trust you, they already like you, they already know you. So you don't need to build too much of a fancy landing page or something like that. You just need to introduce your product and then they go wherever your product is and then they purchase. This is how you deal with warm or hot audience. But many brand owners want to deal with cold audience the same way. No. That is why your results are inconsistent, because much of your ads are going to cold audience and those audience find it difficult to convert, because even your conversion system was built for the warm audience and for the hot audience. Because of that, you find it difficult to penetrate into a larger market and get new people to want to buy from you. That is where the problem is. The question is, how would the audience then begin to turn into customers? How would customers actually buy from you? How a new audience will actually become your customers? How does customers actually buy? So let me just show you that right now, and it's the shift you need to understand going forward. All right, see, people don't just go from I just discovered this brand to let me buy immediately. It happens when I make principled statement like this. I'm not saying it is absolute that it never happens. No, I'm saying it might happen, but generally it doesn't usually happen. All right, only a tiny percentage of your audience would convert with that kind of scenario. So you must understand how customers usually buy on any given day. All right. The first time I went on Temu website, I didn't buy immediately. Of course, I was browsing through, but I didn't buy immediately, even though I had things I wanted to buy. And definitely that's how things are done, right? So people usually go to a website, or there's the awareness stage. So they know that this brand exists, Temu exists. They've been seeing the ad on YouTube, all right, on Instagram. So they know that, okay, this website exists. And then maybe they see another ad. Oh, I think I might like this. So that's from awareness to interest. So people move from awareness, knowing that you exist. But many brands, they want to get people to actually buy immediately. All right. So people will buy. I'm not saying people won't buy. Some people would buy, but most would not buy. So from awareness, then they get to the interest stage. The people that will buy in that awareness stage are the people that are very hungry and they need it right now. So those ones will buy, and or those that will buy will be those that have been persuaded with your conversion process. That means you have great conversion process that will get others to buy. But if your conversion process is not that great, then you're going to have limited sales or inconsistent sales. So to prevent that, you want to build that conversion process. So this is how the journey usually looks like. First and foremost, the awareness stage. So awareness stage is the stage people realize that you exist. They say, oh, this brand exists. Oh, Temu exists. Oh, Jumia exists. Oh, there's another brand that is now coming up on YouTube ads, on Instagram ads, on Facebook ads. So this brand exists. That is the stage. Most people will not buy at this stage. Some people who are very hungry, who really need the product, would actually buy. And some people who just have disposable income, they would buy. But most people would not buy. Then from the awareness stage, we have the interest stage. Then this is the stage where people see another ad and they realize, I think this might help me. I think I might need this product. Right, so that is interest stage. Doesn't necessarily mean that they would want to buy that time, but that is the moment where they're now considering, I think this thing is a good place for me to buy. They are getting interested in what you have to sell, but that is not the last stage. You see, you have the trust stage. This is where people realize, I believe I must buy this thing from this brand. All right, that depending on if they have the money there and there. Also, at that moment, they made their conclusion, they are going to purchase. And then there is a decision stage. This is where they say, okay, I'm ready to try right now. So the money has come, they're ready, their card is ready. So that is the moment they actually make the purchase. And it doesn't just happen randomly. Most times, brands that know what they do, they guide people through this journey. All right, so this is how human beings buy. That's how I bought on Temu too. The first time I was hearing of Temu, I never buy. All right, then sometimes I went to their website, browse to see different products I might want to buy. Sometimes that's after I have seen the ad for Temu. I've heard about Temu over a long period of time. It took a while before I went to their website. But meanwhile, I have been seeing their ad. I've been getting interested. But one day I decided, let me just pick some product that I might want to buy. That is the trust stage. But I didn't have the cash then. And then when I was ready, the decision stage, I purchased. All right, so that is how people usually buy. If you skip any of this step in designing your customer's journey, you're going to lose a lot of sales. And that's why your marketing might be getting attention, but it's not translating into sales. Your marketing is great, but you realize the sale aspect is not so great. It looks like you're earning money, marketing, people are even coming into your email list, but they are really not buying. And that's because you are not supporting the full journey. And that is what is lacking. Now, that is where the funnel comes in. I believe you've heard about funnel many times if you are watching this podcast. That's where the funnel comes in. That is where we talk about the conversion process. So the funnel is not something complicated. You've learned about funnel, maybe episode 4 or something like that of this podcast. Funnel is a structured way of guiding people from attention to trust and then to the purchase. And if you are a skincare brand owner, a simple funnel might look like step 1 is a lead magnet, and it is where you capture people's attention. You're not necessarily trying to sell, right? Even though you should sell after you've captured their attention, you've gotten their details on the thank you page, you should actually sell. Don't waste the thank you page. So, but primarily, the step 1 is to turn traffic into leads. So at this stage, you are helping people. You are giving them information about who you are. This stage of lead magnet, like I say, and your post is to create your own markets. Create the people who would know you, like you, and trust you with that lead magnet. With that lead magnet, you are helping people. With that lead magnet, you are educating people. With that lead magnet, you are giving people choices. You are getting them to know about your brand. You are bringing them into your ecosystem with that lead magnet. This is when the people begin to read more about the options they can buy on your website. So this is step 1. And you can create a lead magnet in any form, all right? It can be a guide, it can be a breakdown, can be a solution to a specific skin problem. For my client that I'm running ad campaign for, it's just a free guide about how they can actually make their own skincare products. And we've sold over 11 million naira just from that campaign with lead magnets. All right, the lead magnet brought them, and then they go to the thank you page, and then they make their purchase. So that's why I said you can still sell with the lead magnet, but primarily you are selling the lead magnet. It is free. Lead magnet is mostly free. All right, so you're giving it for free, bringing them into your ecosystem, and then those who are ready to buy, they buy on your landing page. Who are not ready to buy, they're already getting educated about the products that they can buy from you. That's all the lead magnet is about in the first place. So that is step 1. Step 2 is the tripwire offer. So why you can take them from lead magnet to your core offer, if your core offer is that expensive, depending on your industry, like I said again. So your industry matters, because in skincare brand, you might have a product. The same products can have mini, can have the core products, can have high-end products for different segments of your audience. So the mini products can be the tripwire offer. So a tripwire offer is a low-ticket offer that you are selling. So you have lead magnet, you have tripwire offer. For that low-ticket product, you can have a bundle that you are selling for retailers, all right, that you're selling for others, even for end users at a lower cost, but you can have a tripwire just one bottle. I'm just saying, in essence, a tripwire offer is a low ticket offer. So any low ticket offer in your brand is a tripwire offer. And the purpose of the tripwire offer is to get people into the door as a customer, not just as a lead. So they're already a lead in your ecosystem. You want them to make a commitment to actually make a purchase, right? So that's the purpose of a tripwire offer. So people may sell $1 offer, ₦1,000 offer, something that is very low, 5,000, 10,000 offer. So this is your tripwire offer. So like I said, the aim of a tripwire offer is to get it into the door because it's affordable. It is easy to actually say yes to. You want them to actually become a paying customer, and doesn't actually have to be the high-end product, but it's a product that would work and give them the experience. People trust their experience more than all your promises. If this tripwire offer will give them the experience you promise it will give them, then they will trust your brand. You build trust, and then they can buy the core offer. So the next step is the core offer. With the tripwire offer, they already experience the benefit of what you've already promised them. Now they can trust their experience and then buy the next offer, which is the core offer. So you're not trying to convince them to buy. You are showing them that this thing works. Now that the tripwire offer works, then we have the core offer. So this is the moment where they are ready to actually pay huge money to buy the real core products, all right? So they've seen the value, you built trust with them, they already trust your products. Now, the core products, you can now sell it to them. So that is you guiding them from just on the outside looking, and then bring them into your ecosystem with your lead magnets, and then making them say yes with a tripwire offer. Now that they've experienced your product and its effect, they want a better experience, and you introduce them to the core offer. So that is how you do it, and at this point the conversion becomes much easier because the resistance is lower. They're already seeing the results, and they know that this core offer will give them a better results. And the truth is that this changes everything. Why do I say that? Just look at the difference, all right, from ad to the core offer direct, all right, and you see that many people would not buy. Instead of that, add to a lead magnet to bring in many people into your ecosystem. You already have your own market. Now, inside your own market, you can offer them a tripwire offer and then the core offer. There's a whole lot of difference because now you have people in your community that will buy anytime you have something to sell to them. People in your community already know you, like you, trust you. And discuss this inside our digital launchpad accelerator. Please watch it. So you have a whole lot of people in your community, your audience, who actually want to buy from you because now you have a structured funnel, all right, from attention to them getting interested, understanding what your brand is about, what the different products and options they could buy, then to them trusting your brand, and to them purchasing your core offer. So this is how to use a proper funnel. A proper funnel leads them from stage 1 to stage 2 to stage 3 to stage 4 until you get them to that stage where they actually want to buy. This is when sales is predictable. This is when you move from having random sales to having predictable revenue. This is the reason why some skincare brands, they scale faster while others stay stuck, because some have built this funnel structure. They can move people from just traffic into becoming leads. They can move them immediately from being a lead to a paying customer buying their tripwire offer. And then from this large pool of customers of their low ticket offers, they can then have customers who will now buy their main offer, their core product offer. This is how you should build your funnel. The campaign I'm running right now for my skincare manufacturer, my client is a skincare brand manufacturer. She produces the actives, the ingredients for other skincare brands. We are only running a lead magnet campaign. And like I said, the lead magnet campaign has generated over 11 million naira. Now, let me be clear, because as I said it now, it may look like this thing not being over complicated. Right, why cannot just send people to my homepage direct and get them to just buy instead of these different steps and steps and steps? No, this is not about overcomplicating your business. Instead, it is the other way around. It is about removing the friction that's not letting people buy. It's about removing the hindrance, all right, removing the break from the steps of your audience, because you don't want the audience to be saying you're asking too much too soon, all right? You don't want them to think they're not being guided to actually be a proper customer, because it's as though you are trying to force them to become customer right now. Whereas you should guide them to become customers. You should build trust before selling to them. So you need to fix that. And if you do that, everything would improve. So when you fix the bottleneck that's not getting people to actually buy, then you're going to see sales improve drastically, and everything will look like magic to you and to every other person out there. And this is exactly where my framework C-Skin, C-S-K-I-N, this is exactly where it fits in, all right? Because a funnel alone is not enough. I talk about funnel, this is the structure that turns the attention into sales. But even the funnel is not alone, because the funnel must follow this framework, right? So that means you're not just building just one funnel. Yeah, you can start with one funnel, but as you begin to scale, you want to start building different type of landing pages, different type of funnels for different audience segments. You want to run different campaigns for different audience segments. So in the C-Skin, the C is community. I talked about that. You should know if you watch that video. The S is the segmentation. So you want to segment different types of your audiences. Send these different types to the different landing pages because you have different offers for these different segments of these audiences. All right. So just the general one might not properly work, especially you have a target of getting to 100 million naira per month, 200 million naira per month. Then you want to scale radically. To scale radically, then you want to segment properly. Different landing pages for different segments of your audience that want hyperpigmentation, a landing page for it. Audience that wants to cure acne, a landing page for it. Audience that want anti-aging, a landing page for it. Different segmentation, different ads, different everything different. You want to scale rapidly, right? Then killer offers, that's the K, S-K-I-N. K is the killer offers. All right, you want to create different offers for your audiences. Then the I is the intent funnels. You want to guide the journey. All right, as you see, the funnel is just part of the framework, but there's a larger framework. All right, it's outside the funnel. You have the S, you have the K, you have the I, the intent funnels, and you have the N, that's the non-stop creatives. You want to keep testing different ads that people will respond to. You want to keep optimizing your ad to ensure that you bring in more high quality traffic, not low quality traffic. When all of these work together, that is when the growth becomes predictable. Now, what I've shown you here is the exact structure that you need to turn attention into sales. But knowing the structure is one thing. Implementing the structure correctly, that's another thing. That is why I created a free training where I discuss this C-S-K-I-N in the much more details. All right, that's where I break down step by step how to structure your funnel properly, how to create offers that convert, how to scale your skincare revenue within 90 days. Now, if you are serious about growing your brand, you need and you should watch that training. Just go to pmi.ng/DLA. Go there and watch the training. At the end of the day, sales don't happen just because people saw your brand. They happen because you guided them towards that decision. So you need to build that path right now, build that journey right now, build the funnels, follow the framework, and everything will change for your brand. I believe you've learned something in today's episode 18. Join me next week, episode 19, where I'm going to bring you more interesting topic along this oversubscribed journey.